You're in the green room? Are we live? Can you see and hear us? Silence seems to be going.
Oh, yay!
Yes, yes. Everybody check in. It's our brand new way. Yes. Hello, Zoe. Yes, it's her first time here, I think.
Oh, brilliant.
That's amazing. First time here. And you picked a perfect day for it.
Yes.
I don't mean the weather because it's pouring.
It's pouring down. I just had to run like mad into the garden because I dyed up a couple of skeins of yarn this morning and I was like, ah! You should have seen me. I was like a mad woman.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Diana's
welcome,
here.
Diana as well.
Sweden. Is it cold in Sweden yet, Diana?
Oh, well, we'll find out. No, it's not.
No.
There we go. That was quick. Yes. Hello, Tracy. So, this is our brand new place. And Murray as well. Yay.
Oh.
This is our brand new place to broadcast live. We've been testing it out. And Ferran and other people as well, we had a trial broadcast last week. So thank you, anyone who helped me with that trial broadcast. That was Platinum Patrons. But it's our brand new spot. And there's lots of new things to show you. Hello, Liz.
Oh, Liz, who's got the most amazing Knitterly name ever.
Yes.
Elizabeth Zimmerman. How fabulous, really.
I know, it's amazing. So hopefully what you can see. Hopefully what you can see is over on the right-hand side, or maybe it's on a different side to you, but hopefully you can see an area where you can chat. So there is a spot on the screen which we can see where you can chat. So you can chat away in there and we will see that as it appears. But as part of the show, we have two very special segments. We have, of course, we have Bear Talk, which is where you can ask us anything, and that's coming on later in the show. And we also have Patrons Corner, where you can set a topic for us to talk about for at least 5 minutes. We've had some corkers in the past. But there's a new place for you to ask questions and for you to suggest topics for Patrons Corner. You will see, hopefully somewhere on your screen, ask a question or something along those lines. For us, it's on the bottom side, down there. It says ask a question. And what you can do in there, bottom left. Thank you, Diana. Yes, bottom
Diana's
left.
Brilliant.
What you can do is you can go into ask a question and you will see that I've asked you some questions. I've asked you.
Is that you?
Yes,
Oh.
yes, I've posed 2 questions. And those questions were, of course, if you have a question for us with regards to Bear Talk, ask it over there. And also as well, if you have a question for us with regards to Patrons Corner, not a question, a subject, suggest it over there. And then we'll find it. T. Marie, hello.
Oh,
Yay.
New York.
Yes.
How fantastic. Talking of fantastic, we just watched Fantastic Beasts this morning.
Yes, yes.
It was marvellous. We
Yes.
absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yes.
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 It is a great movie. I thought the acting was fantastic. I loved all the creatures. Oh my goodness. The cutest one, I can't remember the name of it, the one that goes invisible. Loved it.
I can't remember either.
I can't.
I'm sure
Bryony knows all the names.
Someone here will know.
Juanita.
I'm relying.
I love that movie too. It's fantastic. I want to watch it again.
What I liked about that movie is I think that they clearly, that, you know, when you make any film, you are always bound to make the odd little mistake. And what they've done, I think, is they've learned from all the other Harry Potter movies and they've created something that felt the most polished out of all of those films that I've ever seen. Leslie. Hello.
She's in Michigan.
Oh, Leslie.
Sasha's not said hello yet, and she's in Michigan as well.
Do you know what, Leslie? I'm so pleased that you've said hello, and I'm so pleased.
Do you like our sign?
Yes.
It's not backwards. Is it backwards? Is it backwards to you?
It's the sign backwards.
Oh, it's not backwards.
It's the right way around for you.
Brilliant.
So.
No, it's straight. Oh, that's great.
Oh, yes, that's brilliant.
Yay.
For us, looking at it.
Do you notice how it's also a Madeline Tosh colourway? It's a bright pink colourway.
Yes.
So that made me very happy when I thought about that.
And it's also a statement about music in general.
True.
Yes.
It has so many meanings.
It does have so many meanings.
Yeah.
Now, Leslie, what I was going to say to you was, I'm so pleased that you said what you said, because we were always striving to find a really cool way to broadcast live. Helen Morton's here.
Helen.
She's finished her morning run.
Oh.
She's now speaking of morning runs.
Gosh.
Yes.
You went blooming miles today.
I set off this morning and...
He was gone ages. I was like, where is he?
I just kept on going. It was very odd. And my legs just felt great. And do you know what? I don't know if it's the quinoa.
Oh, he's been eating quinoa just lately, and he's convinced that it's like this superfood that's giving him superhuman strength. Even though, Sasha's here, yay! Oh, right, okay, so you found us. Thank goodness, Sasha. I just spoke about you, that you weren't there.
But she's here now.
But you're here now.
I set off for my run, and what I always do when I go running is I have sort of checkpoints in my head where I feel, if I'm feeling good at that point, I carry on. If I'm not feeling so good, I listen to my body and I take a shorter route. Well, every checkpoint I got to, I kept feeling really good, so I just kept on going.
And it's like, it's that quinoa. He's convinced. A quinoa, as you like to call it.
Yeah. So I did 6.5 miles, which is a long one for me. Yes, you see, Kay's with me.
Oh,
yes.
You must be right.
Yes,
because Kay's been having it too.
I'm right. What I do is, I'll tell you what I do. I mix my quinoa with some couscous, because I'm not mixing it with warm rice again, because that brought out the taste of the quinoa.
Yeah,
and it's a little bit earthy. It's not my favourite taste. But I do like the way it makes me feel. So you kind of
mix it with other things to disguise the flavour.
Yeah. What I've been doing is I've been going into shops and I've been paying. I started
2 minutes early, Julie. I think it was just 2 minutes.
Yeah. Sorry, Julie. We
were too keen.
Yeah, I know. We were too excited.
She's having tricolour. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Yes.
I think you might be right then. I'm certainly not eating it though.
But I've been trying to thank Leslie, and I think I got halfway there.
Sorry, carry on.
No, it's my fault. I digressed. Leslie, we've been trying desperately to find a really cool way of broadcasting. Facebook was very much a sort of stopgap, and we're very glad that it was there. But we've got a feeling that this really might be it, because we can use really good sound broadcasting this way. And we think as well that the way this is much better, isn't it? Because we can see what you're saying so much easier on Facebook. And also having a separate spot for the questions, it means you don't have to go trailing through the chat.
Yeah.
It's a
Zoe likes the way it looks. Brilliant.
Cool.
That's great.
And in the tests that we've done so far, everyone said that the picture was much better and the sound was much better. If it isn't, then unfortunately what that means, we're reliant on your Wi-Fi, your end, and sometimes it comes and goes. Ours does as well. So if the picture drops off and it comes back, unfortunately, it's just the way Wi-Fi works. We're not on a network channel yet. I have no idea what that means. That means on the telly. Oh, right, okay. Oh, no, not on the telly. No. Yes, and Julie just said as well, because the other problem that we had with the old way of broadcasting was... We're looking right at you. I know. Although I still... Should I be looking here? Where's the camera? Is it? Did you see my huge pointing finger? She actually has very small hands. I do. I'm going to just look that way. Yes. Do. Cool. So first thing that we have to do today is, some of you might have noticed, or you probably haven't, just because you're already in the Bakery Bears community, but I do my best, and Kay does other things, but it's my job to keep up with the Welcome to the Bakery Fair. Yes. And in the summer months, inevitably, I felt so bad. I went on this week and I was like, you were like, gosh, it's 2 months since I've been on there. But it's the summer, isn't it? And I'm thinking, there won't be too many. There was loads. I was like, oh no. So I was like apologising to everyone. And, I've got caught back up again. So I'm feeling... I think it happens to us all in the summer, doesn't it? As soon as the schools come out, hi, Angie. Woohoo. Angie's here. Oh, Angie, I'm sending you a huge hug. Angie knows why. Right, cool. Okay, well, I'll send one too. You will, yes. It's a double hug, and I'm big. Oh, and Stephanie's hugging. We're all hugging today. Yes, it's very huggy. Yes, but first things first, we need to get on with the show properly. So don't worry, whoever said we started earlier, we hadn't really started properly. Yes, we hadn't really started properly, Julie, so don't worry, because we're going to start properly right now. And that is, of course, we need to do a check-in with the fog-along. Right. Oh. Shall I have a little knit? You can't even see my knitting. You have to hold it up. I could knit like this, couldn't I? Shall I knit really high up? Yes. Oh, that's very strange. Zoe's just instigated a group hug. Oh. Yes. Big capital letters one. Hold the phone, everyone. Can I just say as well, for those people, Bronze patrons will be able to watch the recording of this. And Bronze patrons, if you are watching the recording of this, or if anyone is watching the recording of this, you can still interact with us. Yes!
Yay.
Before it was just a recording, whereas now, you know, if you're watching this later on, you can comment on the side, you can ask questions, you can do all sorts. So it's a winner all round. But Fogalong, finally, yes. 2 months over the summer, I've been very lax and I haven't tracked where we were because it takes some time, actually.
It does.
Especially when you're dealing with countries like Russia, where you just can't, Google just doesn't work. It's impossible to measure point to point. So I've had to use some very sneaky ways of doing it. I did panic at one point. I thought, oh, I bet I'm flying up on watch lists in Russia.
Get on.
Who is this? Searching our places and trying to see how long it takes to get from place to place.
He's a rogue knitter.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, the rogue knitter.
You so should have had that as your
thing. Yeah. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Somebody's going to nab that now, aren't they?
Well, good for them.
Yeah.
So where are we? Well, I can tell you, runners, we have covered 19. No, that's not right. That's not right. I'm going to need to check my. That's what we did. That's what we did this month. That looks terrible. That looks like the runners have covered.
Well, why are you telling me you wrote the notes?
Yeah, I know. That looks like the runners have covered 1,986 miles, and the knitters have covered 49,921. Well, the runners, we've done an awful lot more than that. So I'm gonna go to my notes because I've got them right here, and I'll be able to tell us exactly how far we've gone. You look like you're about to say something.
Was I?
Oh well, okay, you weren't then.
I don't know.
Maybe, shall I just carry on then?
Yeah, just carry on. Maybe I was, and it's just gone out of my head.
All right, okay. Well, I can tell you.
That frequently happens.
I can tell you that the knitters have covered 49,921 miles, and I can tell you, knitters, that you have actually made it around the world.
We've gone around the world. Come on,
knitters, you made it around the world by June.
So this means that we can go twice around.
Yes, you have made it.
By Christmas. And won't it be exciting to see where we're going to be on Christmas Day?
Yes.
I'm so excited.
In mid-June.
We could have like a turkey dinner, couldn't we, wherever we are?
Yes. And Farah, don't stop adding your FOs. We do not want, knitters do not stop because you've made it round the world once. The question is now, you made it around the world once in 6 months.
Can we get around twice by Christmas?
Well, I can tell you, if you keep up the current pace, yes, you can.
Come on.
Now, the reason why we had to do what we did, which is take you straight back to London, because I was going to just branch out all over the place and keep it going right the way till the end of the year. Well, the knitters were always going to beat the runners. And if I'd done that, there was no way that the runners would make it around the world. As it is, we've got some work to do, runners. So I now know how many miles the runners have covered. The runners have covered 18,252.38 miles. And runners, we are on Hong Kong Island.
Wow.
I know.
Oh, we can have some lovely food there.
I love food in Hong Kong.
Yeah. Yes. I've never been, but I imagine I would love it.
My brother lived there for 6 months.
I love Chinese food.
In fact, he lived there for a year.
Yeah, he did. He worked there, didn't he?
He did. And I remember that my mum and my stepdad, Steve, they went out to Hong Kong and they spent quite a few weeks there. And Steve got his wardrobe done.
Because it's really cheap, isn't it?
Yeah, and when he came back, he looked just like, you know, that Top Gear where they get suits? Yeah. He had like bright blue silk suits. They were very fetching. Yes,
Stephanie, you can.
Yes.
Absolutely. You've just got to have feet on the ground, so you can't cycle.
Yeah.
But walking, absolutely.
Yes. There's loads of people walking. In fact, I would say probably 70% of the people are walking and 30% of the people are running.
Yeah.
So join. Yes.
Absolutely.
So knitters, keep knitting. Let's see if we can get around the world twice. I think we most certainly can.
I've not even been putting my knitting in.
And I have projects.
We could be another. Oh no, we couldn't be another halfway around with my knitting. I don't do that much, do I? But
I haven't said where you've got to.
Where are we?
So knitters, you've made it all over the world. You got back to the Reform Club. I actually sent you up to Scotland.
Oh.
And back again.
Yeah.
Just because I thought if the runners make it, it's going to be close to Christmas.
Right.
And it would be nice if we make it in time that we run on up to Scotland for New Year.
For Hogmanay.
Yes.
Brilliant.
That was my plan. Forward thinking, you see.
Yeah.
So knitters, you knitted all the way to Scotland, all the way back down to London, and then you set off again, and you've actually made it to Iran.
Gosh,
You're in,
Wow.
Yeah, I know. You're in Zahedan.
Oh, I've not heard of it. But
No, well,
it's not a tricky area, is it? Or
no,
are we safe?
No, well, as safe as you're going to be.
Right.
I would guess. But Nitted, you've been to some amazing places because you went to McCarthy in Alaska. How cool is that? There were some cool place names in Alaska, actually. I was very impressed. And
I'd love to go to Alaska.
In June and July, you just blitzed it straight across Alaska and Canada. And we came back and we did, you guys got a boat in New York. So you picked up a boat, you dropped down from Canada to New York, picked up a boat and then sailed.
And then sailed back.
No, you actually sailed to Portugal.
Did we?
Yeah, you ran all the way through. You ran all the way through Spain. Yeah. Woohoo!
Yeah.
So Ferran, we will get to Spain. We will run through Spain. So we went all the way through Spain, all the way through France, back over to London. You can see how many miles you've covered.
Cheryl, yes, you can do both. Absolutely. Yes.
Most definitely. So the question on everyone's lips is, of course, are we on schedule? Runners, we're not quite.
Oh, come on, runners.
We've got to pick up the pace a little bit. We were on schedule, but it's dropped. And it dropped. It's probably my fault for not being on the ball with keeping you G'd up. But I have done now. I've been back on the Runkeeper app. I've been putting lots of motivational things in the chatter threads. So hopefully we're going to pick up the pace again because we could absolutely make it. Well, Knitters, you were well ahead of schedule, but now your goal has changed. You have to get around again, but you're still on schedule. So just keep up the good work. That's what I say.
Oh, you lost it over the summer, Helen. I think everybody kind of does a little bit over the summer.
Helen,
I think everything drops off, doesn't it? And it's
Helen, I've seen your numbers. You did not really lose it.
Oh, did you not? Oh.
You're being like me.
You're being hard on yourself.
You're being harsh on yourself, most definitely. Because I think we all have peaks and troughs, and if your peaks are quite high, and yours do tend to be quite high, that evens out your troughs.
Right.
But we have a theme for every pop that we do now.
Yes.
And our theme is knitting plans and knitting horizons.
Is it?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Because we're running into Christmas.
We are now, I suppose,
and
aren't
so
we?
Now is a key time, I think, to assess the knitting horizons which we set out for ourselves.
Did we?
Sat right here in episode 66.
Oh, gosh.
On the 6th of January, 2017.
You're going to call me out now. I can't remember what.
Well, I can tell you exactly what you said.
Oh, no. This is going to be really embarrassing, isn't it? Because I won't have done any of it.
So, folks, you can go back and you can review our knitting horizons. So I'm not letting Casey.
I wasn't really reading.
You can go back and you can review our knitting horizons. So I'm not going to fib. I'm going to tell you exactly what we said. And if you want to go back and review, it's episode 66. It's around about 11 minutes. You will see us set out on knitting horizons for 2017. What's wrong?
What a rogue. Can I pull it? Did I pull it out? No.
Well, something hurt.
Oh, he gets these mad eyebrow hairs, and I usually have to get the tweezers to him. But
no, we don't need to get into male grooming, do we?
No, we don't.
Well, maybe that's a good question for Patrons Corner.
Maybe.
What is my grooming regime? It's quite fun, let me tell you.
You just have rogue hairs everywhere, don't you?
I do. So, look, forget the rogue hairs. Knitting horizons. So, what were our knitting horizons?
What were they?
I think we should start with one of Kay's.
Oh, no.
No, don't worry, Kay, because you only set yourself 2 knitting horizons.
Oh, okay.
So, Kay knit. Well, but I don't know how to word this.
Yeah.
You made a beautiful hat by Susan B. Anderson last Christmas.
I did.
And you adored it.
I did.
You adored the making of said hat.
Yes.
That hat was fairer.
Yes.
And you set as your main knitting horizon for this year that you want to knit some Fair Isle.
Right.
Now, the whole purpose of us reviewing our knitting horizons right now is because it's September.
Yes.
So we have months to go before the end of the year.
I have knit a minuscule amount of Fair Isle.
That does not count.
Doesn't it count?
No.
Okay, well, I've failed so far then.
Well, you have, but I think, do you know what? Isn't it interesting to revisit things like this? Because I think what that's telling you, and you were really into it. If you go back and you review... I did
really enjoy that hat. I can't remember, what was it called, that Susan B. Anderson hat? Can you remember the one I knit for Bryony? that was blue and cream with it had like snowflakes on. Can't remember for the life of it. Yes, I can. Split back snowflake hat.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I did really enjoy. Thank you, Helen. Yeah. So, and I did really love it. So. But
you know, you're always saying about projects and things. You know, I just want to do something that is for me, and I feel really good about it, and I just want to enjoy it. Well, you loved making that hat.
I did.
So why don't you
make another one?
Not well, you don't have to make another one. Find a Fair Isle pattern.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared of it. And well, this is stupid, isn't it?
Why are you scared of it? You knit that hat beautifully.
I know. And I've even got a bunch of now Jamieson and Smith, which is the perfect Fair Isle yarn, isn't it?
So it's like the stars have aligned.
Yeah, and I could make, I've always fancied making the Kate Davies one, you know, the Peery Fleurs. Is it called Peery Fleurs? Probably said that totally wrong. It's a beautiful hat.
Right.
Oh, but it's loads of colours, isn't it? Oh, I don't know. I'm a bit scared. We'll see.
Well,
what?
I don't think you should say we'll see, because I think, you know, when you find something that you enjoy.
Yeah, but but you see, I haven't knit anything Fair Isle since, so maybe.
Yeah, but you picked that up and did it.
I know.
Let's, you know, there's a yin and there's a yang, isn't there? Yes. So let's now take the yang. Well, I don't know if that's a positive or the negative, or it's just the opposite, because your other bit of Knitting Horizon was brioche.
Oh.
Now, brioche, you did try, and you don't like it.
No.
And my point is, when you find something you do like Fair Isle,
yeah,
don't run away from it.
No.
Run towards it and hug it.
Yeah, no, Scully, I know that hat, and I think I've actually bought the pattern, so that would be perfect. I know which hat you mean. It is lovely. She's
suggested a Fair Isle hat. Has she?
Yes, and I got the pattern. I bought the pattern, so obviously I intended to do more Fair Isle.
Right.
But then I just didn't do it. So.
Right.
But it's only 2 colours, that, isn't it? So it's technically not Fair Isle. Technically, is it? But you know, it's strand, it's colour work.
Yeah.
But yeah, the brioche thing, I did try knitting. You see,
brioche was on our Knitting Horizon. We both tried it.
Both tried it.
Neither of us enjoyed it.
I didn't enjoy working.
However, Kate, you looked at that and were into trying it, and we're trying it in very early January.
Yeah.
When did it all kick off with the bits and bobs?
January, because what I realised when I was knitting brioche, and when I say brioche, I mean the way of knitting brioche where you use yarn overs and knit two togethers, etc. You know, like in all the patterns that are out at the moment. You know, Stephen West uses it a lot, doesn't he? Vine. It was that brioche, and I tried it and I didn't enjoy it at all. And you tried it and didn't really enjoy it, did you?
Where I got to with it was, I'm going to do it again. And the reason why I'm going to do it again is that Nathan has now put down his one-pass method. He's put it into a pattern, and he's done tutorials to go with it. And that, you know, I spoke to him at length about brioche, and he was the person who, you know, made me think I want to give it a go. So I will. But what I decided was, if you remember earlier on this year, taking on brioche while still trying to master double knitting just felt too much. Yeah.
But what it led me on to when I was knitting that brioche was, I said to you, this looks exactly like Fisherman's Rib. I don't understand why people knit brioche, the brioche stitch, when you could just knit it like Fisherman's Rib. And I think it's because I think with Fisherman's Rib, you don't necessarily get the 2 sides looking like it looks with brioche stitch. I could be completely wrong. But the actual look of it is the same. And that's what led me on to doing the bits and bobs, because that, of course, is Fisherman's Rib. And I absolutely love knitting Fisherman's Rib. Because it's so simple, and I remember saying to you.
But you also said it was therapeutic.
Very therapeutic. I just love knitting that blanket, and I must start another one actually, because I just absolutely loved it. And while I'm talking about that, the bits and bobs, I will just quickly mention, I've had a few people who have said to me that they had issues where they dropped stitches, didn't know how to fix them, that kind of thing, and you know, were asking me questions, and I must admit that I never dropped a stitch, and I never had that issue when I was knitting all of my samples and the big blanket. My testers never said that they had that problem either. So it's not something that entered my head to kind of mention within the pattern. And a few people have said to me, will you do a tutorial about fixing mistakes? And I don't know, you know, realistically whether I'm going to get the time to do that. But I did look on YouTube, and there are several videos on how to fix mistakes in fisherman's rib and also in brioche. It's just a very similar technique to fix.
And if it's there already, there's no point you do.
No, and if there's good tutorials out there already, then, you know, that I can refer people to, then, you know, I'm happy to do that, really. But that's, you know, it was just something that was on my mind, because a few people had said to me that the drop stitches, and it just, I was just worried that I thought, because I never dropped stitches and none of my testers did. But it's certainly something I'm aware of that people have had an issue with.
Yeah, I don't think any poachers have come and said anything. So I'm sure that they would have come.
I don't think, no. I mean, if
me.
You need to ask me any questions, of course, you know that you can.
Yeah, just fire them through me in the normal way.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Knitting Horizons, you said brioche, which you tried and didn't like, but that then spurred you on to do the bits and bobs. Yeah. So I think we'll give that a great big tick.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I achieved it, didn't I?
Yeah, but what I find interesting is you went after the thing that you don't particularly like, and you've left the thing that you do like.
That's strange, isn't it?
Scully's given you a great idea.
Yeah.
Go get that.
I know it is.
And cast it on. You've got the yarn.
I've got the hat pattern. I bought it ages ago.
So you've got the pattern, you've got the yarn.
I'm not sure what yarn it takes. I have to check that.
But I really think you should do it, because I think that would be fun.
Right.
And what were my Knitting Horizons?
Yes.
Well, my Knitting Horizons were brioche, which I tried, and I have parked that until next year. I know exactly the pattern I'm going to knit, but I can't remember what it is. I actually only found out the other day that he released this pattern. It's that scarf with the twisting cables on it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous. So I'm going to knit that. And I had a good chat with Nathan about it, and it's really achievable for someone who's done a little bit of double knitting and, you know, has got an idea. You don't need to be an expert. So that's definitely on my list to do. And the other thing that I said that I wanted to really get into this year, and I think I have done, because I have done a lot of work on it, is garments. Yes. I wanted to really properly get my head into knitting the Irish coffee, and I have. And I'm on the case. I'm going to finish it this year.
Right.
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Because I'm doing it lots. So
I see you Christmas Eve finishing it.
Well, this year runs a little bit later than Christmas Eve.
I suppose it does, but
New Year's Eve, yes.
You did say you were going to give it to me for Christmas.
That's very true. And it's only a week, so maybe I'll make it. Maybe a late Christmas present. The other thing that I said, though, and I think that this is a really valid point when you consider what's gone on with me with sock knitting.
Scully.
What is it?
Well, she just told me it's Jameson & Smith 2-ply jumper weight, which is what I've got.
So it's fate.
Yeah.
It is fate.
Yeah. Brilliant.
I'm finding this hard to comment. Suzanne, I suppose it depends on what you're viewing on. How are people watching? How are people watching? Are they watching on an iPad? Are you watching a laptop? There we go. And obviously on a laptop, you're finding it easy to comment. Laptop, easy. Mac, yeah. Laptop, yeah. Desktop, yeah. And desktop, PC. Yeah, right, Helen. Interesting. Helen, you're on a
comment when knitting.
Helen, you're on a Kindle, and are you finding it okay to comment? Silence as we wait. That's bad TV.
Yeah. Filler.
I think what we're showing here is probably the best way to watch this and to comment easily. There you go. Laptop, Patricia, there you go. Suzanne, I mean, it might be worth. I'm on my phone, and Michelle, how are you finding it for commenting? iPhone. Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a portrait mode. There you go.
Right.
Comment area is missing on landscape.
Right. Okay.
Cool. So it's maybe just a case of moving things around. This is a new thing for us as well.
What's a Bryonybear, Helen?
Maybe that's our accent.
Maybe it is.
So, Knitting Horizons.
Yeah.
I think that it's an interesting thing to revisit at this point in the year, isn't it? Because you can look back at where you thought you were going to be. And what I was going to say was, way back on episode 66, I set out some knitting horizons. And I said that what was going to be exciting was seeing the things that appeared, you know, that you didn't expect. And for me, it's of course been sock knitting, because it was months after that I set that challenge off. I think it was April, and that's, you know, that's been brilliant.
Do you know what we should do? Someone's just suggested it. I can't remember who it was. I'm sorry, but they said, why don't we do a patron knit along for that fair owl hat, and they'll all knit it along with me. Do you want to do that?
So long as that's not going to put you...
It's a paid for pattern. Is that a problem for anybody? I'm pretty sure it's a paid for pattern. So if people don't mind, normally when I do knit alongs, well, not always, because quite, you know, sometimes they're paid for, aren't they? So everybody's saying yes. So should we do that? Because I've got the yarn. Yeah, I'll have a look at it and I'll let you all know. Shall I send an email out to everybody or something about it?
Well, no, we can just post on Patreon, can't we?
All right, okay, we'll do that. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yes, everybody's saying yes. The pattern, Celine, is called the Snorheed. Is it I think it's SNAW and then HEID. I think that's how you spell it. Is it a Kate Davies pattern, Scully? I think it's Kate Davies. And it's a beautiful pattern. It's got like snowflakes. Snorheed, yes, that Wendy Hollow's saying that's what it is. Yeah, if you put that into Ravelry, you'll find it. And Snorheed, one word, yes, it's Kate Davies. Brilliant, thank you, Scully. So I think we should do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so we'll put a message out on Patreon there.
Yeah.
When I've worked out.
Yeah.
How long do you think it'll take us? Oh, look at that, Scully. She's linked it. Oh, she's so clever. And she's got dark hair now. She's had it dyed black.
Cool.
Yes.
So, autumn knitting plans. Do you have? Well, yeah, you do. We've just set them.
Oh, yes.
We've just set all autumn.
Yeah.
So
I've just got to say when we're going to start.
Yeah, well, don't worry about that.
Okay, I won't worry about
Is there anything else that, I mean, Christmas knitting?
Well,
because it's now that you need to start thinking about it, isn't it?
I'm not really planning on. Right. The only thing I'm doing Christmas-wise is I'm knitting the thing for Bryony. I'll whisper.
No, Mrs. Claus is knitting the thing for Bryony.
Yes, I'm doing that.
Well, no, you're not. You've sent her the pattern, and
oh right, okay.
And she's knitting it because we have to keep the spirit of Christmas alive, because it is alive. Right. Because Mrs. Claus is knitting it.
Yes, so Mrs. Claus is knitting that.
Yes.
And then the only thing that I might do is just a pair of Christmas socks for each of you.
Right.
Which I'm knitting you a pair of Christmas socks now, but I think I'm going to give you those for your birthday.
We need to knit something for Jules, my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Last Christmas.
Oh, this was terrible. We felt awful, actually.
Last Christmas, as you may remember, we knit for everybody.
Yeah.
And we didn't for one sister-in-law.
There was one sister-in-law that we...
So there was four...
There's so many people to knit for, and it was...
2 brothers, so 8. 1 wife.
Yeah.
Missed the other wife.
Yeah, but we gave her something handmade. We made some limoncello, and I gave her some limoncello. I know. So, but the thing was, we were there when everybody was opening all their presents, and normally that wouldn't happen, and nobody would have really known. It was just the fact that we were all together, and everybody's opening all these hats and putting them on their heads and saying, "How wonderful is it?" And Jules didn't get one, and we just felt really awful. You know, she
needs to get something amazing.
So yeah, we've got to. I said I was going to knit her mittens, didn't I?
Right.
Because she's got.
Oh, not to her face.
No, to you.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm going to knit her a pair of Bella's mittens. You know, those long cabled mittens, because they've got 2 dogs and she goes dog walking a lot. So I think that's what I might do.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah. So. I mean, that's going to be an interesting run into Christmas then, because that gives you lots of space to do lots of lovely fair isle knitting and doing some nice things that you really enjoy.
I suppose it does, yeah. I don't like Christmas. I don't like putting pressure on myself, and I've done it before, and we've all done it, haven't we? Where you end up just knitting furiously to get things finished, and it's not a nice feeling. I don't think that is it really. Knitting under pressure, I never really enjoy it. So I think that's why now I say that I'm not going to knit anything. And then if I just feel like doing something, then Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Vanessa's bought the pattern. Oh,
Already?
I've got to do it now, haven't
She's
I?
a-
Vanessa's bought the pattern. Oh, Vanessa, I'm going to have to do it now.
So what I'm going to do now is we're moving into Bear Talk. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see what happens if I click the Ask a Question box. We've jumped over there. And let's see. Oh, here we go. Here's an interesting one. Scully has asked, if you could be an animal, which would you be and why? Take it, Kay.
Gosh, what animal would I be? Do you know, I have got a favourite animal, and I think I probably would be this animal because I love them. And Bryony knows this. She would tell you who my favourite animal is or what my favourite animal is. And I love tapirs. Do you know, everybody knows what a tapir is, hopefully. I mean, I guess some people might not do. And I think they are the most wonderful creatures. And we watch a couple of zoo sort of programs, and one of them in particular, they visit this tapir family quite a lot.
Right.
And baby tapirs are the most adorable thing you've ever seen in your life. It's quite a large animal, and it's sort of a brownish colour when it's an adult, but when they're babies, they're striped. And they're so cute.
Well,
They're a mammal. If you don't know what a tapir is, it's like a big, not a pig, doesn't really look like a pig. It's just a really kind of quite large animal, and they're really friendly. When we watch this program, the zoo program, it's the one that's at Longleat. They love being rubbed, and they're really, really friendly, and they love being tickled. And whenever they need any sort of medical procedures, they can just get them to roll over and tickle them, and the vet can do whatever they want, you know, because they're that friendly.
Right.
They're just lovely, lovely creatures. I would definitely be a tapir, I think.
Right. Before I answer my question, so if you have a question, you can ask the question in the comments on the side if that's all you can see. So by all means, put a question in there. But there is a button which people are finding, which is great. And it's called it's just ask a question. So if you have a question for us, for Bear Talk, and also as well, if you have a subject you would like us to talk about, you can also post that in the ask a question thread. Or if all you can see is that, then do post it there. We'll see it, won't we? We'll see it. So what animal would I be? Well, tricky.
What would you be?
A monkey.
A monkey.
Yeah.
What sort of monkey?
Those ones that swing.
Oh, well, don't they all swing?
Do you remember when we went to that safari park, me and my mums, and they followed you, didn't they? Do you remember the monkeys kept swinging and following you?
Oh, weren't they? They were lemurs, weren't they? Were they lemurs?
Were they?
No. Or were they monkeys?
Or were they orangutans? No.
No, it wasn't an orangutan. I can't remember. But you like orangutans though, don't you?
Right.
I love orangutans.
So maybe I should be an orangutan.
I think that's my favourite monkey, actually, an orangutan. I think they're fabulous. I love them.
But yes, I think I would most definitely.
It might have been a gibbon. It might have been a gibbon, Wendy.
Question from Diana. Will you be dyeing up Christmas coloured yarn?
Gosh. Oh. Well, why are you doing that?
Because she's giving you the perfect in.
I've done some. Yes, I will be doing some like whole skeins of Christmas coloured yarn, but I've got the Advent minis that are going into the shop today, and it's 7 p.m. my time, so that's British Standard Time. It's 20 to 3 now, so it's 4.5 hours time they'll be going into the shop. There's a limited number of them because, let me tell you, they're a lot of work. And I enjoyed putting them together, but they do take a long time. More so because each of my minis are 10 grams. So that means that I have to physically wind those minis myself. I know a lot of dyers do 20 gram minis, and you can actually buy 20 gram minis from yarn suppliers. I can get 20 gram minis. That makes the whole procedure much simpler. I chose not to do that. I chose to do 10 gram minis, so it meant that I had to wind them all myself, and it takes a long time. It really does. However, I really enjoyed it. So there will be some Advent mini skein sets in the shop tonight, and I thought I might give you a sneak peek of 2 of the colorways.
Go on in.
Do you want to see them?
Because they may well inspire your Because
well, these were all one-of-a-kind colorways. Right. Now, I deliberately didn't write down the recipes because I wanted them to be one-of-a-kind. However, now I'm wishing I did write down the recipes. Some of them I did, some of them I didn't. So I might use some of these.
Sure.
They're all based, the colorways are all based on Christmas songs and Christmas carols. So pop songs or carols. We just sort of chose popular ones, favourite ones. So this one I think is probably one of my favourites. Where should I hold it?
Well, there's fine.
There?
Yeah. Just, you can see the screen.
Can you see it? And this one is Fairy Tale of New York. And I didn't write down the recipe for this one. And I love it. Oh, gosh, look at that. Oh, I love it. So that's Fairy Tale of New York. And then this one. Can you see this one? That one's Good King Wenceslas. So there's a mixture of carols and there's a mixture of pop songs. And you know what, I did think of the actual song. Oh, it's gorgeous, that, isn't it? When I was dyeing up the colours, I did think of the song. So I really have tried to make the colourways look like the song, if that makes sense. So I hope I've succeeded. There's lots, as you can see, there's tonals, there's speckles. There's not many tonals, actually. It's mainly variegated and speckles. They're on all different bases. This one's a sparkle. That one's a merino nylon. And then you also get a full 100-gram skein for Christmas Day. So altogether it's 340 grams. And Julie Hunt, it'll be £75. And that includes, you will also get, each day there'll be a little sweet treat. No chocolate, obviously, because I wouldn't want it to melt. So a little sweet treat for you to eat whilst you're knitting your minis. And it all comes, they'll all be separately wrapped and numbered. And then they'll all be in a cotton tote bag and transported that way. So yes, I will be doing some others, though, just full skeins.
Have we read any good books recently?
Oh my gosh. I'm reading such a good book, and what's it called? Well, right, I'll look it up.
Well,
while you talk.
What's cool is we're getting into our autumn programming, and it's so exciting because we've got quite a few really new, cool, well, really new, completely new cool things for you. One of the things, though, that we are going to bring back, and we're going to do once a month, is on the main show, we will bring back What's on Your Bookshelf, because Kay and I have read a lot since we last did this. So we've got an awful lot that we could talk about. And the other thing as well that sort of got us thinking that, you know, this would be quite popular is the reviews in Knitability. We've been doing book reviews in Knitability and people seem to love them. So once a month, we will start doing What's on Your Bookshelf. While you're calling up your book, I will tell them about my book, because let me tell you, I've read loads of books recently, but the one I'm reading at the moment, you know, when you read a book and it's got you properly hooked and you're like, I want to go to bed because I want to read my book. Well, would you believe I'm reading the book written by Carl Gottlieb about the making of Jaws.
I want to read that.
And it's brilliant. It is just superb. Now, it's difficult for me to put into words quite as to why, but I feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm there on, I forget where they filmed it now.
They filmed it in
the famous island.
Martha's Vineyard.
Yes. I feel like I'm on Martha's Vineyard and it's 1975.
I found it.
And I'm there and I'm experiencing it all. And you know what's so interesting about it is Steven Spielberg was so young, he was 26, you know, and that was young for a guy to be making a film quite like that. And hearing the specifics about how the shark worked and how it didn't work quite often, hearing about the leading man, Richard Dreyfuss, and you know how he was behaving, and he's a lovely guy, but he was properly rock starring it up, and he was like out, and he's just been really cool. And also Robert Shaw, you know, you hear about Robert Shaw and how cool he was, and how he brought with him his butler, and his wife. I mean, it's just superb. So that's what I'm reading. It's the Jaws log, and it's by Carl Gottlieb, and it's the 30th anniversary edition. What are you reading? I'm
reading a book that was recommended by Robin. I don't know if anybody watches Robin. I'm sure you watch Robin, Stitching Between Pages. And she recently put out a podcast. She's not podcast for a while over the summer because she's been really busy with her PhD. But she was reading this book, and when she was describing it, I thought, oh my gosh, that just sounds like my kind of book. So I went and had a look at it, and I downloaded a sample onto my Kindle, and I was reading it, and I could not believe it when I started reading this book. And I must message Robin and tell her. It's set initially in Ireland. It's a story of two sisters in the 1950s, late 1950s, and they emigrate over to America. And it's a story about what happens and their relationship and everything. I won't give too much away. But when they were in Ireland and they were talking about where they lived, the first village that they mentioned is literally a mile away from where my mum was born. And I've been to this village several times. And then they mentioned another place, and that's just up the road. And then they mentioned another place, and that one was just up the road. And I just could not believe it. I said, and my mum actually came the other day. I saw her, and I said, Mum, just read the first paragraph of this book. And she's like, I won't do my mum's Irish accent. But she was like, oh, you know, that's just up the road from where she was born. My mum was born in this tiny little village on the west of Ireland called Quilty. And the first place that was referenced in this book was Milltown Malby, which is literally just up the road. So that just drew me in straight away. I was like, right, you know, and the story is really good. It, you know, the characters have drawn me in straight away. And it's called Saints for All Occasions by J. Courtney Sullivan. I'll hold that up so you can, I don't know if you're able to see it. And I downloaded it onto my Kindle. It was $7.99, I think, from Amazon. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm not that far in, maybe 20% in, but I'm really, really enjoying it. It just seems like it's going to be a really great story, and the characters are very strong, and, you know, I'm interested. I want to see what's going to happen. So definitely recommend it.
Cool. What is your favourite chocolate flavour?
Oh, gosh.
Well, Kay can't eat chocolate.
I love chocolate. I just can't eat it because it triggers my IBS really badly. So I haven't eaten chocolate for about 2 years, sadly, but I love it. And probably my favourite flavour, I love mint flavoured chocolate, and I love orange flavoured chocolate. Right. That's probably my two. Oh, my best favourite chocolate I ever had. I once had an Easter egg from Thornton's, and I've never seen it again. And it was really thick chocolate on the Easter egg. It was milk chocolate, but in the milk chocolate, there was tiny little bits of toffee. Oh, that was fantastic.
Well, how long ago was this?
Oh, years.
Well, this potentially fits with my chocolate as well. Now, I mean, if you ask me right now, what is my favorite chocolate? High cacao.
Cacao. It's very technical. High cocoa solids.
Yes, I like high cocoa solids. You know, I like it
dark.
So really, but good quality. I don't like Bourneville.
No, my mum always buys you Bourneville and thinks
that
it's
tastes
really
bitter.
Really
That's
good.
not good. So I really like green and blacks.
Green and blacks.
If I'm feeling like I want a really sweet green and blacks, then I'll go with the butterscotch. But also as well, there's the ones with the lime and salt, which are really nice.
Yeah.
But when I was young, my mum bought me an Easter egg from Thornton's.
Yeah.
It must have been very similar to yours, Kay.
Right.
My brother, she got a Mars one and she got a Twix one, and they had a mug, and I looked in and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so jealous. All you've got me is this poxy one from Thornton's, and it had like a bunny ears on it, and my brothers were taking the mick out of me because, oh, look at that with this childish bunny. Anyway, I open it up. There's all thin, cheap, horrible chocolate. The one she bought me, and I must have thanked her about 10 times for this in the years following, it was orange chocolate. I love orange chocolate.
Yeah.
Sadly, Terry's Chocolate Orange have blown it.
Not the same anymore.
Because it's not the same anymore.
No.
We actually went by the factory where it used to be made, and they're selling it off, aren't they? It looks like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
You see, people are saying Lindt is their favourite, and you're not keen on Lindt, are you?
No, Lindt is way too sweet.
Right.
It's just way too sweet for me. I think because I like coffee, I like black coffee.
You like the darker.
Yeah. I
like Lindt.
Yeah.
Or I once had those chocolates, the coconut ones from Lindt. You know, the ones that are in the balls, and it's in a blue wrapper. Oh my gosh, that was like absolute heaven.
Absolute heaven for me. Valerie's just said she likes salted caramel chocolates.
Oh, that's one of your favourites.
I like salted caramel chocolates, but one of my absolute favourites is Ben & Jerry's salted caramel core and chocolate on one side, and be like, oh my goodness, I have to have a lie down after I've eaten that.
Yeah.
Someone else, what Kindle are you using and do you like it?
Yes. What is my Kindle?
It's just a plain.
It's just a normal.
I think it's a paperweight or featherweight or something or other.
Paper something.
Paperweight then.
Paperlight.
Paperlight.
Yes, it's that one.
And do you like it?
Yeah, I love it.
I also use a Kindle.
I've had it a good while and I love it. Yeah.
I use a Kindle Fire HD, and I don't use. I mean, I bought it for you. We bought it to. I think we bought it before we had the iPads properly to try it out, and it was fine. But I just use it as a plain Kindle, and the reason why I love it is I can put it on nighttime mode and read it with the light off. So I really love that. Yeah. More questions. Now this is a bit of a tricky one, and I think Laura Carlson's asked, who do you follow on Instagram?
Gosh,
Laura, the best thing for you to do is to head over to our threads,
just have a look.
Head over to our profiles and look at who we follow.
I actually don't follow thousands and thousands. You'll see.
Yeah, but you do follow probably more than we have physically time for.
Yeah. The thing is, I would follow a lot more people, and whenever I find someone that's new to me, you know, and I will follow them. But I don't. Because, I mean, I have quite a lot of followers myself, and I don't automatically refollow people back. I just kind of wait and see if it's a thread that's going to draw me in and interest me. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone that posts lovely, for me, anyone who posts lovely pictures of countryside, lovely pictures of knitting, lovely pictures of history, or anything to do with Star Wars.
Oh, well, skip Star Wars. Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah.
You would?
I would. I probably would. Yeah, probably would.
Video podcasts. I think two that we could say. One is, well, three. We drop everything and watch anything that Robin does.
Yes.
Because she's just the business.
I love Robin. Yeah. She's genuine. She's, you know, and I just love her. She's a genuinely hardworking person, and her knitting projects are always lovely. I just love her. Yeah. Yeah.
And she's been we never met her, but I remember she emailed me after we filmed at Byland Abbey, so it was around episode 10, and that started a friendship, which she emailed me to ask me to send her pictures of the floor.
Right, yeah.
And we've been friends with her ever since. And of course, she appeared on our visit to the Abbey that we did earlier this year. She's just great. She's really great. So if she puts out anything, we stop and watch it. But also, you are loving the new podcast from the dentist lady.
Oh, the dentist lady. Oh, from Diana. There's so many Dianes and Dianas that I get kind of a bit confused. I think it might be Diane, actually. She's One and Knit Socks. Does anybody follow One and Knit Socks on Instagram? Well, she started a video podcast. She's done 3 now, I think. And I absolutely love it. Again, it's just very down to earth. You know, she's very straightforward. Shows, you know, she knits loads, which I think is fantastic. So there's always lots to see. She's very experienced knitter, which is brilliant. And she's just lovely to watch. I really, really enjoy it. It's called, gosh, I can't remember the name of it. But if you have a look at her on Instagram, One and Knit Socks, if you don't follow her, it'll be linked. But yeah, I really enjoy that. And the Yarniacs as well. I listen to the Yarniacs religiously. I listened to it this morning. That's another one of my favourites. Again, I will always stop and listen to that.
Marie has, Marie, I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong. It'll be Mari. So I apologise, Mari. That's very bad of me. Mari's asked, what podcast is it? Stitching Between Pages podcast.
Stitching Between Pages. If you just search that on YouTube, you'll find her.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it, Marlicia.
Adorable young lady with very short, trendy hair that just looks fabulous.
Hold the phone, everybody, because Marlicia and
oh, of course,
the award for most epic, constant, joyous podcast.
Yeah. Marlicia and Talia.
I could get emotional thinking about the amount of episodes and just
Pen, Hook and Needles we're talking about. If you don't watch Pen, Hook and Needles, then absolutely, because they do it religiously. you know, week in, week out, and it's just fantastic. And we know, you know, the amount of effort that takes to do it.
Michelle Owl's podcast is really, really good.
Yeah.
But sadly, she's not progressing very much. And this is why I can't think of what Spicy Homemaker.
Oh, yeah.
If you need cooking or marital advice.
Oh, thank you, Vanessa. Yes, River Falls Plantation. That's one of Nick Sox's podcast. Yes, and she's got the most fantastic dog called Jack, and I love Jack, and I want to go and kidnap him.
Spicy.
Spicy Mama, she is.
I think that's another podcast.
Yeah. Oh, Sock Magician, of course.
Yeah, we absolutely watch Nathan. He sometimes just goes a little bit. I mean, Nathan is a good friend of mine now.
He can talk.
But no. I think Nathan's issue is sometimes he just goes a little bit too far.
He can sometimes go a little bit too far.
I also can sometimes go a little bit too far.
Yeah.
So I can assess it with him, but I certainly don't go quite so far as Nathan.
No, he's sometimes quite on the edge, isn't he, of things.
So, you know, there has been times where it's maybe been a bit too much.
Yeah.
But we absolutely, I mean,
but we love him.
He's probably the closest.
Oh, the gentle knitter, Vanessa. I can't believe I didn't mention it. I absolutely love the gentle knitter, Nicole. I think I've rewatched her podcasts about 4 times because I just love her. She's very relaxing. Is it new, Talia? No, I think she's been going about best part of a year, I would probably say, but she doesn't podcast very regularly. So I think there's maybe less than 20 out there, something around that. But they're excellent. They're lovely podcasts.
I think the difficulty is when you ask us that question, and that's why what's happened has happened. There's just so many. There
is so many, yeah. And honestly, I can't keep up with them all.
It is difficult, but it is difficult, isn't it? Because you will naturally enjoy some, and you know, naturally others won't be for you.
Yeah.
So I know asking that question, you know, it's an absolute. Laura asked that question. It's such a key one, isn't it, Laura? Because sometimes it's difficult to find, isn't it? You know, you say sometimes, you know, you're looking for something new to watch.
Yeah.
And it's difficult, isn't it? Because there is so many. So it's such a valid question that you asked. And I'm so glad that you asked it.
Yeah.
And let's always keep sharing what we enjoy. Now, we're starting to run short of time. So let's just whiz through. Kelly Quiller has asked, what is your favourite part of doing the podcast, Kenny?
Gosh, that's a tough one, isn't it? I'd really have to think about it. I don't know. I mean, I enjoy talking about knitting, and because I know I've got Dan next to me and everything, and he will listen to me waffle on.
I'll also have some opinions too.
Yeah, you will. That's true. But, you know, it's not quite the same as having a group of people to talk to, you know, in like a knitting group, which is what I think of with the podcast. It's just like a big knitting group. So I think it's just talking about knitting and what I'm working on is probably what I enjoy the most. Yeah. I
absolutely enjoy all that. I really enjoy people call it the banter, don't they? Banter. I really enjoy
taking the mickey out of me.
Yes, that's fun. I really enjoyed.
I've come to expect it.
I really enjoyed Knittle Forfeit. Because I really enjoyed, you know,
it was definitely fun
playing off those against you. But I would say the things that I enjoy are I enjoy the going out, and I enjoy every stage of the going out about. So deciding where we're going to go, working out what story we're going to tell, getting the storyboard together, filming it, and then editing it. Right. I mean, actually, you know, if you were to ask me what is my underlying favourite bit, it's probably the editing.
Oh gosh, right.
Because
I think most podcasters would say that's their least favourite, wouldn't they?
Whilst it's hard work, it's fun because you're playing with so many elements. You might be playing with a wonderful project that someone's showing and trying to get the right angle on, you know, the project and showing it in the perfect way. Music. There's so many elements, and when it all comes together, I get the same kick and buzz out of that as what I used to get out of being a professional musician. And so that makes me a very happy person. Because, you know, I always said to you, do you remember when I said to you very early in our relationship, I'm a player,
Yeah.
And I don't mean a player. I mean,
a player, that sounds terrible, doesn't it?
I mean, I'm a musician,
Not
I'm a
that
drummer,
kind
so
of
I go out and I gig. Well, you get to a point in your life, and I got to that very early on with Kate, that I didn't want to be driving away. I wanted to be staying around.
Well, you did do that for a good while.
Oh, I did.
You did it for, gosh.
Years.
Yeah, a good few years.
But, you know, what I love now is that we do something which gives me the creative reward, which I always thought I would only get from something else. So it's the editing. But you've got to admit that going out and doing a really good shoot out is cool.
Oh yeah, I enjoy that.
Equally though, when it doesn't go well. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you know, we're just different, and that's fine.
Yeah. But when it doesn't go well, I think the reason why, you know, filming out is so tough is when it doesn't go well. That's when, like Scotland.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, you did a brilliant job on the editing with that.
That was the hardest edit I've ever done because
it was a really. We kind of played it down a little bit, I think, on the main podcast. It was a really, really tough day, and we were so upset by it all, weren't we? That we just didn't know what to do, and oh gosh.
I sat and I looked. Normally what I've got is you've got a situation where you've got these amazing images and you've got brilliant storyline, and it's all great because we put in a lot of work before we go out and film. And I sat and looked at this, and it's just us on a boat.
Yeah.
And once you watch that for a couple of minutes, and literally I planned to show 5 minutes of us on a boat, and I'm left and I'm like, what are we going to do?
Oh gosh, it was,
It was tough. So I said to Kate, I remember the day before, I just said, look, I am going to throw every bell and whistle at this, and we'll just see what comes out.
And it was great.
I knew
it was great.
I knew it had gone down okay when Kay was like, what were you complaining about?
You did take you a long time to do that.
Reward.
It did. Like most of the week, I think. I said to him one day, I said, oh, how's the editing gone today? And he was like, oh, good. And this was at the end of, like, it'd been in front of the computer for about 8 hours. And I says, oh, how much have you got done? He says, 10 minutes.
There was less.
I said, you've been doing that for 8 hours and you've only got 10 minutes of footage. I can't believe it.
And I'm fast. I'm really fast. You know, I know all the shortcuts and things. So, I mean, that just shows you. But, you know, the end result still worked. So that's the reason why I love editing. You can take something that looks awful and you can turn it into something.
It was never awful. You just,
I was frustrated.
It wasn't what we thought.
It's time for the patron. It's time for the Gold Plus monthly prize draw.
And this is so relevant.
Oh, it's as if we planned it.
Honestly, this was not planned this way.
No.
And this is unbelievably relevant to what we've been talking about. So do we know who it is yet?
No, we don't. I haven't done the...
Well, I'll show you.
You've got to see the prize first.
So the prize is, look, I've got 3 balls of Jameson and Smith 2-ply jumper weight. Can you believe that? I mean, we were just talking about
it. The winner is number 76.
So I chose these 3 colours because I thought they were lovely and autumnal, and I just thought they'd go together so nice in a Fair Isle project. Unbelievable. And I'm sure there'll be enough for a hat or mittens. You get 125 yards in each of the balls. So I thought they were lovely. So, and if you haven't worked with it before, I think it's just a great opportunity to have a go. I really like knitting with this yarn. I think it's lovely. It's not what I expected it to be much more rustic than it is. So, yeah.
And we have a winner, number 76.
76.
The winner is...
I didn't see it. He flashed it at me too quick.
So there we go.
Deborah Baker. Yay! I haven't seen her name on here, so...
Oh, we want full screen.
What are you doing?
We're trying to get a big screen back.
He's messing with my screen.
There we go. We want to go all big again.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, we went like
let us
that.
see the
went
chat.
like that before.
There we go. So Deborah Baker.
Deborah Baker.
You are the winner.
You've won.
What does she need to do?
Just send me a message with your address. I know your full name, obviously, because I've just said it. So just send me a message with your address, because we've got your address, but I always like to make sure. And then I'll get those sent out. So you can either message Dan, you can send me a Ravelry message, Instagram message. I don't mind which of those, you do.
But interesting point just to make is, please always, and I know I say this quite often, but new people quite regularly are appearing, so it's quite, and I know it's easy to forget as well because there's so many ways of messaging. Please, 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 if you have a message that you want to get to us, send it to me at the email address which I email you from. So it's down at mixmusic@icloud.com. So that's the email that I always email you from anyway. If you have anything to ask us at all, please message us that way.
Yeah, I mean, I get messages in all different forums,
all over the place,
and I will reply to any method of message that you send me, but it might just take me a bit longer.
We just can't guarantee the time.
No, I actually found a message last night, and I don't know how long ago this was sent, on Facebook, and it was via my kind of private Facebook.
It's a nightmare.
And I never look on that. So, I mean, don't ever really, if you can avoid, well, I won't see it if you message me on Facebook. But,
it's also impossible for us to identify who people are if they message us through any other format. So you could send us a message on Ravelry, and unless you tell us exactly who you are and what type of patron you are,
Ravelry,
we don't know how to respond to you.
It's hard to link it up with who you are,
So the best way to message us is, you can message us on Patreon, but the best way is just to email me. Email me, and then you know it's going to land on my desk.
Okay.
And I'm quick. But you know, with regards to a prize, yes, of course she can Ravelry message you.
Ravelry.
I'm talking about things where people are asking us questions.
Oh right, okay, yeah. I mean, Ravelry is actually better than Instagram because sometimes I don't see Instagram messages, and I don't know if other people are like that, but sometimes they don't appear in the same place. You have to like see this little thing at the top, and it says like 2 messages, and then you have to click on that, and then you have to accept the message, and it's all a bit complicated. So Ravelry for me is better than Instagram, actually.
What's coming up this month?
Ooh.
Before we finish, and we've overrun too. You've got some extra, which is
my
great.
My hair's a disaster, everybody.
Don't worry about that.
I'm just going to say that,
yes,
and I'm going to leave it at that.
What's coming up this month? The New Adventures of the Bakery Bears, episode 6. We're getting back to what we do best.
Oh.
We're not going to places where we've got no idea if they're going to let us in. Oh no, we're going somewhere where we know we can get in. We're going somewhere where there will be no filming disasters. No, it's going to be immense. It's our first Roman adventure of the year, which for the Bakery Bears, it's an embarrassment that we've left it that long. But we've done a lot of Roman stuff. So I think it's fair dues that it's taken us till September to get to the Romans in 2017. But it's going to be a good one. It's one of Rome's lost cities. Previously, we've been to fortifications and forts. This actually is where just real Romans used to live. So there's a street and the shops, and there is a fountain where they used to drink from. And the stories attached to this place are immense because this place was built before Hadrian's Wall was there. So it's going to be amazing. That's not next episode, because next episode we're finishing off. And I'm telling you again, because I've told you twice now, because you told me off before, we have 2 songs, our final 2 songs.
He gives me so much information, everyone. I can't even tell you how many things a day he says to me. And then I have to retain all this information, and then I can't do it. And then a few days later, it'll say, have you done that thing? And I'm like, oh, what a thing.
So we will be finishing off our Desert Island discs.
In the tens.
Yes, in the tens.
What do you say when it's
the
tens?
We'll have our last 2 songs, and we're also allowed to take a book with us. So 1 book. So 10 songs, 1 book. So we'll be unveiling our 2 songs and the 1 book.
Well, I know the book.
Cool. But when that finishes, there's something new coming.
I do need to write it down, Monisha.
It is the Bakery Bears bucket list.
This is going to be so fun.
Oh my goodness. Yes. It's a brand new segment. And basically what will happen is, in each episode that we run the segment, and we'll run it over 4 or 5 episodes, we will come to the table and we will have a proposal to put to each other. And that will be an activity which we want to do while we still can. So I think that's better than saying before we're dead.
Before we're dead, yeah. Because that's what a bucket list is, isn't it?
So our list will have a maximum of 10 activities on it. We will run it for 5 episodes and we'll fill it up as much as it gets. So who knows? You may end up with 10 things.
2010s.
But I'm guessing it won't, because what will happen is I will put forward one of my proposals and Kay will either vote for it or she will veto it. If she vetoes it,
President Bartlett.
Yes.
We'll be watching The West Wing again.
If she vetoes it, in fact, we should have a thing where we sign it off.
Oh, yeah.
If she vetoes it, it's gone. There's no arguments. I can't sit here arguing. And the same goes for Kay as well. If I veto it, it's gone. If I vote for it and she has to persuade me, then it's in and it goes on the list.
Yeah.
And at the end of 5 episodes, we will have a list and we shall pick one and we will do one in 2018.
Well, yeah, we're going to try and do, and this is something we want to do, we spoke about doing anyway, you know, and we wanted to try and do one thing every year. But some things, it might not be possible, you know, it might be that it's going to be,
well, no, we'll pick something that's achievable.
When Brian is an adult, and we can go off and do something without a
visit the moon as well. That's not possible next year.
No, that's
I
not
think people
possible
will realise.
at all. But I'm only saying
in
that
our
because
lifetime,
to go to the moon.
If Mr. Richard Branson has his way,
would you even want to? You don't even like getting on a plane.
That's
and
true.
You're saying you're going to go to the moon.
Well, who knows? They might invent a new way of travel.
That's the most ridiculous.
There won't be anything silly like that. We're going to think, well, no, this is going to be aspirational stuff.
That's not aspirational.
No, of course it's not.
Behave.
Well, but can you see the debate that's going to happen?
Beam me up, Scotty.
Can you see the debate?
I'd love to do that, Talia. I'd love to be beamed up.
So
that'd be fantastic.
over the course of the rest of this year, we're going to find out what is on our bucket list. And then as soon as next year starts, we're going to pick on an episode. We will pick and we will let you know what we're going to do.
I want to teleport, Scully.
Yeah.
I would teleport back to the day before I had my hair dyed and say, don't do it. It'll wreck your hair.
We're also, unfortunately, come to the end of Dunking Biscuits.
Oh, really? Have we not got one more to do?
We have one more to do.
I was going to say, I thought we had.
We're doing one more in the next episode, but then we come to the end of the Dunking Biscuits. Yeah. But we know how you enjoy when we eat stuff, and we know how you enjoy when we eat stuff actually more that we don't like.
Yeah.
The amount of messages I had about the time that we tried the jungval and other things. So we're very fortunate to have seen appear in our local supermarket a world food aisle. And it has, among other things, an immense, huge American section.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go with foods from all over the place.
Twinkies on there.
And maybe we should start.
What is a Twinkie?
Maybe we should start with Twinkies.
Oh, it looks suspicious.
It's going to be the Bakery Bears down the world food aisle. I'll come up with a shorter name than that. But each episode, when we do the bucket list, we'll be trying something new that we've never tried before. Oh, I know what we should try.
What?
There's some very dodgy looking soups.
Oh,
yes. Do you remember the one?
No, I don't remember.
Oh, folks, this is going to be so cool. I'd not even realised. Oh, yes.
Is it the one I'm thinking
yes,
of?
Yes,
oh,
yes.
Right, okay. Can we not try Twinkies first?
Yes.
What's a Twinkie?
Yeah. We're going to rock it. We are going to rock it. We're going to try some things which are going to blow our minds.
Right.
Come on. But not only that, and I'm saying nothing more, please don't give anything away, Platinum patrons.
Cream-filled cake.
Please.
Oh,
please.
but it can't be real cream.
Look, I'm building up to something exciting here.
It's not refrigerated. Oh, look, Sasha. Oh, Sasha's done throwing up faces. Oh, right, okay. You see now, and that one makes me want to try it even more. Sorry, go on. We are building up to something, which is, I think it's coming towards the end of October, or it might be in November. I can't remember when, but it's when we finish this season of the New Adventures. New Adventures will be back as soon as the weather clears. We'll be running New Adventures until we physically can't film outside, which will probably be 2 more episodes of New Adventures. Will you stop it? What's a ho-ho?
This is terrible.
I don't know.
This is okay.
There's actually something called a ho-ho. A devil dog. Oh, I'm telling you, this is a whole new world.
Folks,
sorry.
You know how they say, never work with children or animals?
Michelle.
I'm adding K's to that.
Ho-hos are like chocolate twink. Oh, I can't try it. It's chocolate. Ding-dongs. Oh, you're all winding me up now. They're all winding me up. Surely you are. Oh, come on. I can't believe this thing's cut. And what?
I cannot believe that Jan Claver has just written, love ding-dongs.
What's a hostess snack cake? Julie, honestly.
Malisha's also said ding-dongs are awesome.
They make
Michelle Carley's just made a statement.
Oh, well,
snowballs.
A snowball to me is like it's like marshmallowy with chocolate and then coconut on top. Is that what Snowball is to everyone else?
Jinx.
Don't try the Twinkies. Bleh. Yeah, it sounds like it would be a bleh.
We're going to be trying all sorts of things.
Oh my goodness.
But let me finish, because we are going to have to finish because we've overrun seriously here. Will you stop it? This is terrible. Folks, I will finish with this year. Normally in a year, we only bring you one new marquee product. This year, we brought you the new Adventures of Bakery Bears. But no, there's going to be two, because we are launching a brand new quiz show. Platinum patrons don't give anything away. They've been helping me with production. This quiz show, if you enjoy Knit or Forfeit isn't even on the Richter scale of this quiz show. We've taken this. How can any professional work in this environment?
Beaver tails.
Right.
That
Look,
can't
folks,
be real beavers.
Be ready in November. Of course, it's not real beavers.
Why are they called beaver tails?
Oh, because they're probably shaped like them. Oh, get ready for a new quiz show. You're going to love it. Yeah, well, I'll say anything more on that. Before we finish, just let me remind you, if you're watching the recording, or if you've watched this and you arrived late, what I'll do when I finish this is I will post this, so you will be able to go back and start this from the beginning. So rather than us have a separate post for the recording on, this will just go live, so you can watch this anytime. And remember, if you're watching the recording, you can comment on the right-hand side and we will, revisit this and we'll have a look. You can post questions below and we'll revisit this and have a look. So you get the full experience. Of course, we've been looking straight at you, which is super exciting. And someone say,
I'm
Leslie,
sorry for
thank you, Leslie. Keep at it, Dan. Yeah.
I'm sorry for the giggling. I'm going to stop now.
This is getting out of hand, Julie said.
I'm really sorry.
Kay won't be able to eat from laughing. You were all winding her up. It's terrible. The host of this podcast has been a bit distracted. That's so funny. Jackie's just arrived. Oh, Jackie, I'm loving this. I've been loving watching Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Kate is allowed to laugh. Of course she's allowed to laugh. Tears are running down Pam Green's face.
Yeah, I need a laugh, let me tell you.
Folks, that was an interesting first live broadcast on Patreon. Do let me know how that's gone for you. I know that broadcasting here on Patreon makes this much more accessible for all patrons. So whilst there may have been certain issues for certain people finding certain things, unless you've had a nightmarish situation, hopefully we can keep this rolling and everyone can access. But people are saying much better. So that's cool. That's cool. But if you have an issue, do let me know as well, because what I've done recently is I've really opened up the channels with Patreon, because we've got access to this way of broadcasting before a lot of other people, which is cool. Right. And we're also going to be launching something else new, which is called Patreon Lens, which is going to be another way of us broadcasting videos. This is still in beta. I don't even know properly how it works, but they're giving us access early, and it's going to be another cool way of us sharing things with you. So lots of exciting things on the way. So thank you so much for watching.
Oh, I'm telling you, I've got to try a Twinkie.
We will. That is absolutely first on the list. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. And we will see you on Friday.
I'm going to go and have a cup of tea and compose myself.
83, and I'm going to go and play Fantastic Beasts Lego Dimensions with Brian.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you Friday. It is Friday, isn't it? Yes, it is.
Yes.
We'll see you Friday for episode 83. And our final songs and lots of knitting and all sorts. So thank you so much. I now need to work out how to end the broadcast. I think I found it.
Oh, it's there. Yeah.
So we should say bye.